Hello YouTube, and hello again Blade Runner fans. Today, as I promised, we're gonna take a deeper or a more closer look on my other Blade Runner items from my collection. The first thing that I want to show you is something I made partially myself. I'm quite nervous how you will react to this, and I'll state this up front. It's not for sale. It's not an item that I'm offering for sale or even planning on offering for sale, because I just made it for myself. So yeah, it's a little, you could say it's a little Blade Runner music box. What I did was I took a little wooden box and I ordered these pins from Etsy, and I took the plastic or the rubber thingies that were on the needles from the pins or on the pins from the pins, and I made them little feet. So yeah, let me show you what this box has to offer besides the obvious Blade Runner pins here. I was planning on using the Wallace one for something that I didn't realize after all. I was planning on using it on the packaging for the emanators, since some emanators that you can buy online have like something similar or very similar. I ended up using it on the box anyway, but what we have here is the Tyrell Corporation logo, the Wallace Corporation logo. The Tyrell Corporation logo is little different. The Blade Runner logo, Trish, Roy Betty, the unicorn, Rachel, Trish, the sheep or the origami sheep. I did mention the Blade Runner unicorn, or and here's Deckard and here's Rachel in a. And on here is again the little Blade Runner unicorn or the origami unicorn. And this is the not only is this the charging port, but also the port where you would put in the USB cable and put music on here. You could put any kind of music on here that you wanted to, as long as it is not bigger as 16 MB. And what I used for this and what I wanted to show you was, oh, there it goes.
Ich habe Dinge gesehen, die ihr Menschen niemals glauben würdet. Gigantische Schiffe, die brannten draußen vor der Schulter des Orion. Und ich habe Seabeams gesehen, glitzernd im Dunkel nahe dem Tannhäuser Tor. All diese Momente werden verloren sein in der Zeit. So wie Tränen im Regen. Ich weiß nicht, warum er mein Leben gerettet hat. Vielleicht hat er in seinen letzten Augenblicken das Leben mehr geliebt als je zuvor. Nicht nur sein Leben, das eines jeden. Mein Leben. Alles, was er wollte, waren die Antworten, die wir alle wollen. Woher komme ich? Wohin gehe ich? Wie viel Zeit bleibt mir? Alles, was ich tun konnte, war dasitzen und zusehen, wie er starb. I've seen attack ships on fire on shore. I watched sea beams, literally the town, 10,000 feet. All those moments lost in time, like tears in rain.
So yeah, this is the Blade Runner music box. What I do keep in there is I have this little 3D printed unicorn, and I painted it silver. It's the origami unicorn. It's quite has quite some sharp edges around here. The tail is a little looks like a saw blade. And what I also do keep in here is little stamps. Those were the stamps, in fact. Those are from Japan, as you can tell by Nippon, and I'll probably also on the motive. But those were the stamps that were on the packaging that came from the seller where I bought the Tomonosuke blaster. So yeah, Blade Runner has this Asian-like these cultural like Blade Runner, as you can see in the movie, takes a lot from the Japanese culture and just owns it and puts it in the movie. And there's a lot of Blade Runner fetish in like Japan, and Japanese people love the Blade Runner aesthetics and the cyberpunk aesthetic. And this is the reason why, if you ever see cyberpunk media in general or Blade Runner media in general, it is always portrayed like with a, it looks like downtown Tokyo or downtown the parts of Tokyo where you would find neon lights, and there are various songs that take that reference Tokyo or neon Tokyo or cyberpunk aesthetics in general. So yeah, but the main thing here is the origami unicorn, and as you can see, it is quite close to the unicorn pin that is on here. But if you wanted to do that, like as an origami artist, it takes hours, and I mean hours, to fold this. My back then girlfriend took made me a paper unicorn, and I still have it. So even if we're not together anymore, she made this because she really liked me, and back then she loved me. And don't worry, it's fine. I'm not. It's not something that I'm sad about or something. Just quite the opposite. I really love when people think about what really fits to when they make a present, what fits a person. And to me, if somebody wants to make me a present, or if somebody wants to make me a gift, the more personal it is, the better. So yeah, there's that. And we're gonna take a closer look on a few other items that I have. So let me just put this away really quick. Put this in here. And what I can also tell you about this box is how I did this was, it has like a little motion sensor here, or a little magnet that
Ich
blocks
habe
when it is closed. So I don't want Roy Betty to speak right now, and we're gonna put this away really quick, and we take a look on some other items here. This is the badge of Officer K, obviously. I also have Deckard's badge, but I'm gonna go through my K items first, so we can do this in sort of a chronological order. So yeah, this is a 3D printed model that you can find on. Actually, you can find most of the models that I'm showing here. You can find on Thingiverse for free. Usually, some people take money for models, and there's a variety of these badges, and you can also find them on eBay, and you can find like I talked about this in my first blaster review. They're like cold cast metal. It's a aluminum plastic mixture that they offer, and this is only resin, and it's hand painted, and it has more. You don't quite, you can't quite see this, but in real life it has a more coppery shine to it. But what I did was I just painted over the. I painted the badge itself silver. I think I printed it in gray. I don't. Yeah, I think I printed it in gray resin, and then I painted over it with it was not high gloss silver, it was matte silver that I choose, and then I hand painted with a little Sharpie pen over this in this coppery gold color, and I filled in the blanks here with a black marker. So yeah, there's K's badge. It doesn't have like a lash on back here. I also have a badge where there's no number here. I think you were supposed to do this yourself, but I couldn't get it to work. I'm not into 3D modeling this much, but you could do this, and it has a belt clip on the back side here. I would show it to you, but it is right now not in the reach of my hand. So the good thing on the belt clip is you could obviously do better cosplay with that, but I never. If anybody out there, and this is quite some serious thing, if somebody's out there who's a 3D artist, could you please just? I mean, you could go onto Thingiverse and you could just upload the officer, or you can just Deckard's badge. Because Deckard's badge is not on Thingiverse for some unknown reason. I don't know why. You can find it all over eBay, but you can't find it on Thingiverse. So yeah, the blank badge is freely available. If you want to remix it, just do it. The people on Thingiverse are they don't want any money for it. All they want mostly is being mentioned if you remix something from them, and don't sell any stuff that you didn't do yourself from the ground up. So those are the rules for Thingiverse, as far as I can tell, at least. So yeah, there's that. What we have next here is Case Horse from Blade Runner 2049, and you can see it is a little shiny. It has these almost polygon-esque structure on it, and sadly the backside, it is a 3D printed one. Sadly, I couldn't get this to work, and the pins that would hold it in place during printing, or the support that holds it in place during printing, got a little deeper than it should have gotten. on the, I suppose it was the NECA model. On the NECA or NECA model, you would have in here the carved date that also is carved into the horse in the movie. And in the movie, it is a wooden horse. And since wood is really rare in the world of Blade Runner 2049 or Blade Runner in general, Kay would have gotten rich just from this horse alone. But this is a 3D printed one. And what I did was, it didn't come out like this out of the printer. What I used was I 3D printed it in a, I guess it was black resin, or I'm not. I would say it was the black resin. I also have smoky black resin, and but I think it was the black resin that I printed it. And usually in the movie, it's more of a brownish color, more of a wooden color, obviously because it is made from wood. And the NECA one was sold for around, I guess, don't let me lie, it was around $25, which is totally okay for a model of this. And I would appreciate if more companies like Paragon of X would make great models for affordable prices from Blade Runner. So like this NECA, or obviously this not NECA horse that was made available by NECA for a little, for little to nothing. But what I did was I 3D printed this and I coated it with wood darkening. I used wood darkening for it, or wood, I don't know how you would call it, but you would use it to make lighter colored woods really dark. And I guess it was like a mahogany brown. I'm not quite sure what color it was back then, but I just used it on the resin. And this was even before I cured it in the UV light. So I think the wood darkening was soaked into the resin, and this is what gives it this shine to it. As you can, I hope this comes across on camera, but you never know. Yeah, so this is the 3D printed one. I only made one of these, and a variety of unicorns in various shapes and sizes. Shapes and sizes. I'm so sorry. My English is not the best on this planet, but I hope it comes across, and I hope you can understand what I'm telling you. So yeah, there's the 3D printed horse. And what we have next here is the same item, but we have it twice. This is the 3D printed, and I have to be careful what I do here. This is the 3D printed Joy Emanator. It's more like on par with the screen size, but this is the only part that is functional here, and even too functional is the slide out mechanism. The light isn't working because this is, or was, too small for me to work on, and I had a little help on that, and the person that I asked for help nearly got desperate when he worked on this. So what we did was I printed this out bigger, and you can see in a size comparison, and this is also, I think it fits better in the hand. So yeah, but as you can see, it's almost, not almost double the size, but double the width, I would say. Yeah, this comes close to double the width. But the special part about the bigger one is that it lights up. It lights up, but it doesn't come out because I glued this in. I had to glue this in because it would fall apart. The battery would fly around in flames, and this is the part where I'm not really satisfied with. And what we're gonna do with this video, or what I wanted to ask you with this video, I asked Michel, the guy who made the who made Case Blaster and who made the M2019 Decades Blaster. I asked him a while ago if he could do a metal version of the Joy Emanator working with sound and light and a nice little box, and he was not opposed to this, but he said he had quite some other projects to do, and what he also said was he was working on Love's Blaster from Blade Runner 2049. I didn't see it go up for sale on his store, but he said he was working on it and was almost complete, and that was a few weeks or a few months back, if I remember correctly. We have now the middle of October, and I guess this was around June or something when I asked him. And when I ordered the M2019, I talked to him again about the Joy Emanator and how much I would love to have a full working metal version that wouldn't break so easy. Yeah, and he said, yeah, maybe I'll do. And just an assumption, guys. If enough people ask him to do this, and if there's enough people have interest on this, maybe he'll do it. Just an assumption from things we've learned from the past. If fans or if passionate fans ask companies, and I guess Michel is just a small company, but yeah, Michel is a person who wants to earn money, and if he sees, well, there's quite a few people who would like to see a metal version of the Emanator, even in this size factor, and there's enough interest, maybe he'll do it. And I guess this would work even better if it was made from metal, because metal, if you would put a speaker in here and if the sound from Joy would play, metal would, I guess, better resonate than this plastic. But yeah, those are case items. Now let's go on with a few of Deckard's items. So, what do we have here? Let's start with this. This is not the original Blade Runner glass, but it is fairly close, or it has this Blade Runner aesthetic. The original glass is made by a company from Italy. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. The name of the glass is Cibi or Cibi. And it's made by an Italian company, and they're fairly expensive. It goes like up to $80 for just one glass, and those are the cheap version that you can find on Amazon for, like, I guess 16 for 4 glasses. And there's also a whiskey cantator that you can buy with this, that also has this swirled aesthetic. And yeah, those are not the original Deckard's glasses, but they are fairly close. So that is okay. At least to me, that is okay. I'll put a link in the description for the glasses. So let me put this away really quick, and let's go on. What else do we have here? Well, we have something that is pretty hard to come by, and is also not an original piece, but it is close enough. It is close enough, you guys. This is the not the original holster that Deckard has in the movie, but it is fairly close. And the thing is that the original holster for the blaster was made by a company named Safariland, and they went out of production back then. And original Safariland 1001 models can go up to $650. There are a few imitators out there and reproductions that are fairly close to the original, but they're around $200, and I was not willing to spend $200 on a piece of leather that was like put together. I mean, I know it's high quality, but still $200 for an holster to a gun that you would not take out on a regular basis, especially not in Germany. And what I find was, or what I found was, a holster that is fairly similar by a company from Solingen, which is around 50 kilometers. The town of Solingen is famous for its blades, and I'm assuming back then they were also producing like leather holsters. And what is so special about this holster is as you guys know, and now I'm coming with something that that I wanted to show you a while back already. As you can see, and maybe I can do this without showing too much. Yeah, there it goes. Just let me put that in here. So, and let me put this away. We're gonna come back to this later. As you can see, well, maybe you can see, this is the rubber version, or the stunt gun version of Decat's blaster. It's completely made from rubber, so it doesn't have any movable parts. It doesn't have any trigger action. It doesn't have any features whatsoever. What I did was I glued back on the screwdriver. I had to glue it back on, and I paid so much more than I should have paid for this. Was sort of an accident. What I did was I have an app on my phone that is called My Bidder or iBidder, and it automatically bids on items on eBay, and I forgot to turn it off. And what I also forgot was the seller has had put this up with pound, and I thought it was euros, so I paid 230 pounds for this. So ouch. It's a rubber blaster, and it was totally worth it, and the guy really was nice. We had a nice little chat on eBay messages, and he was really helping with customs and stuff like that. And as you can see here, this differs in a way from the Tomonosuke one, even if this is also a Tomonosuke one. It has not the, and you can compare this, it doesn't have like this little dial on here. It has a little screw. And what I didn't show you back when I did the review for the Tomonosuke blaster was that there was under the foam was a little bag, and there's also this little screw, so you could change this out for this, not this particularly, but the one that was in the packaging. You could screw this off and screw that on. So yeah, but what I wanted to show you was how the holster fits the blaster. I'm gonna take the Tomonosuke one now. Oh, maybe I should open this up a little more, that it fits better. The problem here is the holder here. It's quite sturdy, and it doesn't get off that easily. It doesn't snap off easy, and now it does. You have to use a little force on it. You could do that, but I'm quite hesitant to do it with the Tomonosuke one because it's the most expensive of the bunch. So let me just put that away and use the rubber one from here on out. So you put it in here, you slide it in, and then you have a perfectly, almost, you have to use a little force, and it's not quite perfect, but it gets the job done. And if you look up online the Safari Land, the fitting and the overall design of this is fairly close, and I only paid $20 for it. I was thinking about recutting this or even widening this or replacing parts of this, but honestly I like it quite a bit as it is. Like if you would put the rubber blaster, and if you would go out on Halloween or Carnival or whatever, you could put in the rubber blaster here. Oh, I hope I didn't damage anything in here. Let's just hope not. No, I didn't. You could put this in here and it would perfectly fit. You could put this on your belt, or you could wear it over the shoulders. And the rubber blaster, even if it looks fairly close to a real gun, you wouldn't get in trouble, I guess, if you would wear this on Carnival, a rubber blaster, especially not if you would use like red tape on the tip or anything like that. But you could, like, if you put this out again, and if you would use like red tape on the tip, you wouldn't get in trouble. I mean, you can see here, focus on this, it doesn't have a hollow barrel, and it's not something that you would get in trouble in Germany for. And yeah, as you can see, it is like totally made from rubber and doesn't harm anybody. But it used, I guess it used the same moldings like I mean, it is from Tomonosuke. That was before they had this kit out where you could screw on the handles, and the handles had the right color. They had this kit out, and it's like a stun gun. It's I'm assuming it was even used in the movie. Why is this motherfucker drilling right now? My neighbor is just a total nut job. This guy is insane. We have like Monday, and it's like 6 in the evening, and he starts to drill. I mean, it's not prohibited, but he could have started a little earlier, and he's just a total nut job. So yeah, hope that didn't ruin the video. Let's continue before I fall in rage. So yeah, and this is the thing that I wanted to show you with the blaster in it. This is a little metal suitcase, and you could, or a weapons suitcase, or a weapons case, and you could use that, or I use it to store the rubber gun, or even the now that I have Michelle's version of it, I'm thinking maybe I will put that in there. Like it is better protected in there than in the wooden box, because obviously it's metal, and you could store quite a few other items in here. So I used the origami unicorn, I used the Blade Runner pin, and Deckard's badge to like have it more like in a presentable way. But what I also did was I cut out or I took out the foam here, so you could have a little part where you can hide bullets, or you can put bullets in. And since Michelle was so friendly to put an additional 10 bullets in here, or in the package with the blaster, I could use that, and I can show that to you. I take these plastic bullets out, and I take the metal ones from Michel, put them in here, and have a little secret compartment where I can then put on the Blade Runner unicorn and or the origami unicorn. And what I can also do is I can take out, and this is something that is quite unique, and you can I will make a third video where I compare the blasters to each other and show how the size differences look and stuff like that. But I just wanted to show you I just want to show this to you so you can see it firsthand. So, oh my god, this thing is so heavy. Just let me tell you, this is so insane. This is Michel's version. Like it is never quite perfect in if you use this punch out foam. It's not quite perfect, but it does fit, and the overall dimensions completely, as you can see, yeah, there are some minor differences, but overall they do match up quite nicely, and they have like the same. Oh my god, this thing is so heavy. They have like the same, overall the same dimensions. If you put that toe on toe, you have like the same width, the same height, and even the same. I'm not quite sure if you could like compare this, how you could compare this. You just lay it on top of each other. You have slightly different angling on the if you put them side by side. You have slightly, I don't know if you can see that, but you have slightly different. It's overall, I would say Michel's blaster is quite screen accurate, and I'm not quite sure what model he used as a basis, but I would assume it is fairly close to the Tomonosuke blaster. And yeah, as I already told you in my review before, for 500-ish or 550, I'm assuming he's selling them for 550 on eBay. This is not expensive. This is craftsmanship. Like the material used, the hours that he spent on this. Yeah, I could go on like for hours about this, but let me just put that back, and let's continue with some other items. We're not done yet. We're not quite done yet. A little better look here. This those were the numbers that I mentioned. If anyone could put this up on Thingiverse, I would be eternally grateful to you. Thank you, whoever you are. So let's close this up. And this is just a standard suitcase that you could buy on Amazon. It's just a weapon suitcase. It's just standard and nothing special. Maybe I'll decorate this at another time. Let's go on to our final items. Not to spoil anything here. Hide this away. Jesus fucking Christ. So, the final items I lay down back here. Those are a few additional items that I have in my collection. This is a print that I ordered on Etsy, and it has the quote from Rutger Hauer or Roy Batty in the movie. I've seen things I've I'm sorry. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. Yeah, this is the quote, and I'm not as good as an actor as Rutger Hauer was, but you can see here, this is the waveform of this quote. And if there ever exists a technology where you could scan like these voice lines, it would sound like it, but it wouldn't exactly reproduce the sound like you could with like Audacity or something. So yeah, what else do we have here? We have here a magazine that is called Film Kurier Klassik. It's in German, obviously. And the interesting part is that it uses the cover of the director's, or the uses the director's cut and not the final cut. And this is because there's so many versions of this movie that you could never reproduce like authentic material back from the time without mentioning the original cut, the director's cut, the various cuts that exist. You couldn't go around this if you would reproduce a magazine that would come close to back when it was released. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Here it says, for example, that the length of the movie is 117 or 110 minutes, and that is because the original cut was, I suppose, 110 minutes, and the director's cut was 117. And this magazine here is a reproduction, or is comes from a company that sits in Austria, I think. And they just use like various photos from the movie. They explain a little bit about the story and stuff like that. And here's a feature about the director, Ridley Scott. Yeah, so you could order this. I mean, if you would like to speak German, you could order this. It is the magazine from August 2020, and you could order this at the printing manufacturer, but the price would be a little higher than these 370. I paid like €8, I guess, something like this. I'm not quite sure. I have two versions of this, one for display and one for storing safely away. But you could order this at, where's the site? You could order this at www.filmprogramm.it, sorry, not IT, AT, that stands for Austria. So you could order that. The next item that I have is very similar to the one that I have here. This is a film program, or a new program for Blade Runner. I paid like €15 for this, and I wasn't quite sure why it was so thin at first. But then I got back to eBay, and I saw this thing only has 4 pages, and the sad part is that it counts the outer page, or the outer pages, together to these 4 pages. So basically I paid €15 or not including shipping, 15 euros plus shipping for 2 pages. Well, I mean, it's a collector's item and I'm not gonna complain, and I was not dissatisfied in any way that I bought this. I knew what I was buying, so to speak, but oh my god, this is so bad to get. This is such a pain in the ass to get back in the packaging. I'm sorry, you guys. Things happen when you don't expect them. Let's just hope we can get this off without destroying it. Yeah, there goes the finger over the glue strip, or over the strip of, and then you can, I'm closing that back together. So what we have for almost last, it's almost over, we're almost done with all the stuff that with most of the stuff that I own. This is a reproduction of the Pale Fire from Vladimir Nabokov, the book that Kay has in his apartment in Blade Runner 2049, and Joy grabs, his AI Joy grabs the book, the Pale Fire book, and she says, you want to read to me from that? And he says, well, you hate that book. And the quote from Pale Fire that is famous in the movie is the famous interlinked, and this is, if I'm correct, it would be around 700. There it is. Around 700, there it goes. I can tell you how I knew, but I didn't know that I had crossed the border. Everything I loved was lost, but no author could report regret. A son of rubber was convulsed and sad, and the blood black nothingness. I'm sorry, this is hard to read. I'm not a native speaker in English. I'm trying my best here. And blood black nothingness began to spin. A system of cells interlinked within cells, interlinked within cells, interlinked within one stem, and dreadful distinct against the dark, a tall white fountain played. So yeah, this is the quote that is in the movie when they do the baseline test, and they ask Kay to repeat interlinked, 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 and this is how they test his emotions, or if he gets emotional, damaged in any way, or gets emotional by killing other replicants and has an emotional response. It's basically a continuation of the Voidkampf test in Blade Runner the original, and the baseline test is the continuation and the thing that they do in Blade Runner 2049. So what this is, this has the Pale Fire, which is a poem that has exactly, I guess it was exactly 999 lines, and yeah, the complicated part is that the guy who wrote this also wrote a complete novel around it, and what is also in here are the note cards. It's a reproduction of this, and the whole story of Pale Fire is really fascinating, but it would absolutely overdo our time limit. Maybe I'll do another video on that, maybe not. I'm not quite sure. But what is also in here is these reflections, those little notes in here. Those are you can read about it. I'm not going to tell you everything about there is about Pale Fire. I don't even know everything there is about Pale Fire, but it is it was called one of the greatest novels, or one of the most important novels of the 20th century, and that is saying something. And this poem with its 999 lines of rhymes and poems, and in the poem is meaningful on its own, and that is also why it is in Blade Runner 2049. And it is a really nice reproduction. It's not it's like a big bookcase, so to speak. And I got lucky. I paid like $20 for this, and they can get quite expensive, believe me. I've seen them go for 80. I've seen them go for 200 if they are originally packaged. And it says on the cover, a poem in 4 cantos by John Shade, and the original author, of course, is Vladimir Nabokov. You can like read this book yourself, or you can hopefully you could find like a paperback version of the novel that is not too expensive. The version they used in the movie, the one with the orange binding, is quite expensive, and I didn't find it for like under $90. I didn't find it for under $90. They get even more expensive than that. They get 200, they get 600. I don't think it is worth the price if you consider that you could get like a really nice reproduction with all this stuff in here and have basically the same experience as the book that you could buy for. Like, you could buy this for, if you're lucky, for 20, and if you're unlucky you would maybe pay 40 or 60, but not like in the range of the screen accurate books, so to speak. So yeah, there's that. This is one of the last items that I talked about. So now to the last 2 items in my collection that I wanted to show you today. We have, on one hand, we have here the steelbook of the Blade Runner Final Cut. As you can see, I folded together this little plastic piece. It's nothing too special. It's only 1 disc, and it only has the Final Cut on it. I'm not quite sure, and this is something maybe you guys can answer me, if there is any other version on Blu-ray than the Final Cut of Blade Runner. I didn't see it, but I'm also admitting that I wasn't specifically looking for it. All I heard was there is another version, or there are back in the day there was this DVD set with 5 discs that had like, I guess, 5 versions of the movie in it. And I read somewhere that there is the same set on Blu-ray, but I didn't find it anywhere. So yeah, back to the other steelbook. Oh, there we have, I mean, it's already expired, so don't worry about that. We have a 2-disc version of the Blade Runner 2049, and we have this nice steelbook here, so you can see maybe the art in here. We have the 2 discs, and Officer K with this giant hologram of Joy that tells him, "You look like a good Joe." And this is the moment where K realizes that all the things around him are fabricated and not real, and this is the reason why he decides not to kill Deckard. Spoiler alert, obviously. And yeah, there is the 2-disc version of Blade Runner 2049, bonus disc, and the movie itself. I don't yet own the 4K versions of the movie because, and that is something that is something you should consider if you want to buy these movies. At the moment, Blade Runner 2049 in 4K is out of print and really expensive, and the reason for that is that Sony decided, Sony is the company that distributed Blade Runner 2049, and Sony decided to get out of they got back in the 4K Blu-ray business, but Sony, the publisher itself, decided to transfer it to transfer the rights to another company, and took the Blade Runner 2049, at least the 4K disc. I know the 4K disc got really expensive, and they're now back on Amazon for pre-order. I guess if you would pre-order now, they would release around the 19th of October. I'm not quite sure, but that is something that I had. That's the date that I had in mind. So that would be this Thursday. The 4K Blu-ray of Blade Runner 2049 would re-release. I could replace like the one disc in here, but I'm not quite sure if I ever wanted to do that, because the Blu-rays or the movies look fine in 1080p. I mean, Blade Runner 2049 would considerable better in 4K, because it is the more modern movie and it would look better on a big screen. But yeah, sorry, I had to put something out of my nose here. Yeah, so this is the end of my Blade Runner item collection review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we see each other in another video, and let me know what you think. What maybe you have some like other items of Blade Runner that I can do a review on, or maybe you have some tips what I could order, or maybe you even are like a guy who has like old stuff from Blade Runner that he doesn't need anymore and wants to give to me. I don't know. Maybe there's some people out there who want to see another Blade Runner fan happy. Yeah, this was my review, and I see you guys next time. Bye bye.